we go. How's it going, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and I'm gonna go into some stocks right now that are great deals, and I think you should keep an eye on at the very least. And I think this is a great time to buy a lot of these because it's the last day of potential tax loss harvesting. A lot of people are taking this opportunity to just sell more, last second sell the stocks that are down. And we do have some stocks that are quite up today. So I'm going to get into some stocks that are up that you should keep an eye on, wait for a pullback. And I'm going to get into some stocks that are just massively down, some at new lows. Okay, so let's get into it. But as you can see, our heat map here, we've got quite the mixed bag here. We've got quite a mixed bag. Companies like Walmart up pretty nice, okay? But then we've got companies like Apple down. I mean, they're not really down all that much. We've got just a kind of like a day. Okay, we've got a basic day. We've got kind of a mixed, somewhat flat day. I mean, a couple things are up, a couple things are down. A lot of the large caps are actually down a little bit, so that's kind of nice to see. And here's one, Facebook. I like it at its price. Okay, if it could come down to 330, that'd be better. But I do like this at its current price, and I think long-term Facebook is at a fantastic place to buy. All right, a lot of these other large caps, I'm not a fan of the current price, but Facebook's one of them that I do like at this current valuation. I think the PE is pretty fair. Right now, we're right under $1 trillion. I think it'll come over a $1 trillion market cap in 2022. And yeah, Facebook's one to definitely watch. Alright guys, now first off, I'm going to go into CleanSpark. I went into this last night in my last video. If you didn't watch it, check it out. I'll leave a link, I'll leave like a card up above here, maybe a link in the screen. But I went into CleanSpark, SoFi, Volta, Indy, and Astra, okay? And of all those, I believe CleanSpark right now is the best deal. We are down quite a bit here. We had this support, we broke our support, so just be aware of that. I mean, it could fall further. But I like CleanSpark long term, and I'm happy to buy it at this dip, at this current price, okay? And now let's zoom in. All right, so here's where the day just about started, and we've just been downtrending. Okay, but we are eating up with some buying pressure coming in, and look at down here. You see down here that buying pressure popped in real quick. Same thing right around here, and then we gapped up a little bit. So I like it at its current price. I would be happy to buy now. And if you don't have a position yet in CleanSpark, I think now is a golden opportunity to start one. I'm not a financial advisor, so this is all just what I'm doing and some potential ideas to put in your head. I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold though. But I do like CleanSpark where it's at, and I'm happy to buy it at this current price. Now we are downtrending a bit, so maybe a confirmation, a little bit of a turnaround before you buy in could be a wise thing to do. But I'm happy long term to buy this at its current price, okay? Now, as for SoFi, I did expect it to pull back. We might see that head and shoulders. That was a potential negative thing we could see. But I do like it at where it's at. It didn't come up more. It just traded flat. If you're a very patient investor, you could just wait on this. If it comes down, cool. If it doesn't, you miss it. Oh well. There's always a lot of opportunities out there. You guys don't need to chase stocks, okay? You don't need to chase a stock. This recently ran up, I think 10% the day before today. So personally, if you're really looking for the best deal, and if you just don't want to see red, I would say wait on this. Although it can run up. Sure, it can run up just next month, up to $20. It's of course possible, but it's also very possible that we come down, retest the 15 level. So, it depends on your patience and risk tolerance. Okay, if you're very patient and you don't like risk very much, you shouldn't really be dabbling too much in small caps anyways. But, it's just something to think about, okay? A lot of these stocks are at extreme lows, but some of them have since ran up quite a bit. I mean, like we were just right here at the 14s with SoFi. But you also can zoom out and realize at one point we were in the $25 level. And I do expect to see the 20s again. Maybe not 25 next year, but I do at least expect 20. Okay, I think that's very reasonable. But just be aware, RSI, we're very close to overbought. We might have to pull back just a little bit more, for us to actually run. Because if we do run, we'll quickly become overbought. So there's that potential negative. But yeah, I mean, over time, long term, I do like SoFi long term. I would avoid it though, personally, if you're just very, very patient. Okay, it depends on your risk tolerance. All right, and Astra, another one I talked about yesterday. I'm going to get into more stocks, guys, but I just wanted to touch on a few of the ones that I talked about yesterday and just kind of give you my thoughts now on them, because yesterday was speculation on it being a very red day. And so if I didn't really go too red, but CleanSpark did, so I see the value in CleanSpark, at least short term, if you're looking for the best short term deal. Long term, I think these are all great buys, okay? I think Astra, Indy, SoFi, all these are great buys, but if you want the best deal, if you want the lowest price you can get, sometimes it's better to just be patient. There's no need to have every stock in the market. Okay, there's always a deal out there, guys. There's no need to chase. Just like there's no need to panic sell unless it's a bad company. But if you have conviction in a certain stock and if you know what you own, then you will never panic sell if you know what you're doing. Okay, if you know what you're doing. Now, Astra, where it's at, I do like it at this price. It didn't pull back, but I am happy to buy it at current price, and I do think January will be a nice month for Astra. I do expect it to have a great month. We are trying to uptrend now. We are trading above the EMAs. We're working towards that 200 day. So there's a potential that we will just, we'll have this nice uptrend, starting to look bullish on the charts again. And then we're going to have a nice run into January, but we'll see what happens there. Now I'm going to get into Indy real quick, and then we're going to go over a couple large caps. I'm going to go over a couple other stocks in the market. I'm going to look through my Vanguard, and then we're going to go over a couple of my thoughts on my Vanguard and some stocks I haven't talked about. So let's get into that though. But first off, Indy. I might look at Volta real quick too, just to give you my thoughts on that. Now, Indy has ran up just a little bit today. I'd wait on it. Okay, if you don't have Indy, I would personally wait. It could always retest this $12 level, or even like lower, but you could potentially wait, get a better deal. But I do like Indy long term. Okay, we were just at about $15-16 not that long ago. There was some insider selling, caused this sell-off. Let's zoom out just a little bit. So this insider selling caused a sell-off, and then we were quick to recover. Okay, people really like Indy. I feel like the buying pressure is quick to step in on any dips on this one. It depends on its phase, but I think you can find a lot of support at that low, like that 1050. Okay, we did hit it once here, right? Can't see, there's a light in the way. Okay, we did hit under 1050 once here, but except for this one time, I mean, we haven't hit 1050 since early September. And remember, this was a SPAC and it merged, and then let's zoom out just so you guys, if you're not aware of Indy. So this was a SPAC. Of course, once it merged, it sold off, typical of a SPAC merger. And then when people started catching word of it and realizing the executive team, realizing what this stock really was, I think people started getting into this one and finding that hype started building in this one for sure. And then we started selling off, and then the insider selling last end of year, a little bit of tax purposes, selling, totally fine. I don't blame them at all. And I don't think anyone else did as well. It was just a short-term, quick negative catalyst, a chance to sell and buy back in my opinion. And where it's at, I do like it at its current price. I think it's safe to buy now, although it has ran up a little bit today. I do like it in this range. Okay, any higher, and I would probably avoid buying at that price unless you wanted to just dollar cost average, of course. But yeah, I like Indy long term. I think at its current price, it's okay to buy it. It would be nice to buy it at a lower price, though. It would be nice to buy at a lower price. But long term, I love Indy, and I'll say that a million times. So, all right, I think that was everything. No, Volta. All right, here's another that I talked about yesterday. Like I said, check my video if you want more detail on that. So we did run up a little bit today. We had an okay day. So yeah, we ran up a little bit. No, only 2%, but I think it's good where it's at. I like it where it's at. I like Volta long term, of course, but I do think it's safe where it's at to buy now. It did go up 2% today. I don't think that's much though. I would buy a Volta. I'd be happy to buy Volta at this price. And like I said in my last video, I expect this to just about double up from where it's at, okay? Like at least over 10, if not getting to close to 14, 15. I do expect that next year. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some positive news catalysts. More expansion. There was a recent news, not too recent, but there was some news about them going into all the Six Flag parks. So just more news catalysts like that, getting the hype built back into this one. I do like it at its current price, and I think it's just a matter of time till we retest that $10 level, and that would be a potential place to start taking profits. But remember, guys, we did gap down. We did gap up here. We could potentially come back and fill this gap. Could give you an opportunity to buy right here at this support line, right at about $7 or so. Okay, so we got to fill that gap. We might not, but I do think we are. It's possible that we're gonna in January. We could have a final little last hurrah of just some blood in the market with the small caps. Definitely possible. Make sure you keep cash on the side. I always recommend that. Just keep a little bit of cash on the side. It's easier said than done, I know. Okay, but that's basically all of the 5 stocks I talked about in my last video. Just an update on what they're doing. I would definitely go more into CleanSpark than any of these other ones. Other ones have kind of ran up a little bit. But long term, all of these I think are great still at their current price. I do like them at their current price. Now let's look at a large cap here. Facebook. Okay, I love Facebook at its price. We might see it come down, but I'm happy to buy here where it's at. All right, so looking at it, we had this uptrend most of the year. We had a nice uptrend in Facebook, and then we finally, in the end of September, we started just downtrending, and then we traded sideways, and we hit as low as we went as low as almost $300. Okay, we almost hit $300. I doubt we're gonna hit it again, but I do like Facebook at its current price. I don't remember the PE off the top of my head, but it was I thought a fair value for a large cap, a tech company with good growth ahead of it. And lately we've been kind of trending up. You'll notice. You'll notice that we've been trending up. So if you see this break, we could potentially retest. We could retest this 330 or so. A couple supports here. So just keep an eye on Facebook. I do like it at its current price. Okay, we might retest this though right here, like the 325 or so. But just keep an eye on this trend. If this trend breaks, we might retest this. If it doesn't, we might just continue upward. I do like Facebook at its price though. And this is one of the large caps that I do like. This is one that I see a lot of value in Facebook where it's at. It's been trading sideways for quite a while, trading flat if not down. And to get back to the previous highs, we're at almost 400. Okay, so what is that, about 20% or so of a gain? And I think that's going to come really quickly. I do. Although, one thing to be aware of, if the large caps do have a bit of a correction, which I think they're due for, if the large caps have a decent correction, I think Facebook could go down along with them, creating an even better opportunity to buy. Although possibly it could just trade sideways, but typically if that whole sector or that part of the market is going to go down, Facebook and other potential stocks may go along with it. And that's where you can find these deals where if just that market goes down and that stock goes down as well, where it was already a deal before it went down, that's where you find these chances to make really, really good returns. Okay, you find a stock that has been beaten down, and then if that sector rotates out, or something like that, like say rotating into small caps, or just due for a correction for large caps. If all the large caps come down, it's very likely Facebook will face, or meta platforms now, will face downward pressure as well. So just keep an eye on Facebook, see if it breaks this trend. I do like it at its price though. I'll happily buy Facebook at its current price. Okay, and that was Facebook. Let's check really quick. Another one that I do like, and this is actually... So here's another one I like, and this is actually my cousin's his favorite large cap. Okay, so this, yeah, looking at it right now, it looks very good. It really does look pretty good. Oh my goodness, yeah. Look at Amazon. It's just like it's been trading. It's been like range bound. Okay, let's look here. So right at about 3,700 or so, and then starting here, we've been kind of range bound. You can see, okay. So if you can get it in the low 32, 31, that's a great place to buy. And then, potentially swing it. You could definitely swing this one, I think. But let's zoom out quite a bit, actually. Let's zoom out a little more. We've just been trading sideways for quite a while now. Okay, this is August of 2020. Okay, so we've been somewhat flat. I mean, trading from 3,200 or so to about 37, not able to break 3,700. I would happily buy Amazon here where it's at. I think it's a golden opportunity. Okay, I think it's a golden opportunity to buy Amazon, and be aware, earnings is coming. Okay, earnings is coming very soon. Estimate of 137 billion in revenue, earnings per share of 375. Now let's look at... Okay, so this is why it's been kind of just range bound, I think. Their earnings hasn't Their EPS was good. Revenue wasn't an increase. So the revenue barely increased. That's not good to see. Revenue actually went down. Okay, so like I can almost guarantee that's why this has been just trading flat. Okay, revenue is not increasing. Revenue is actually down from the 29th of July earnings report to the October 28 October earnings report. We're actually down in revenue, not as high, not as where we were before. That's potentially why Amazon is down quite a bit. I think that's my my educated guess. Looking at revenue here for this upcoming quarter here in February 3rd. So it's coming up in a while. It'll take a while. But revenue estimate is 137 billion. Okay, so be aware of that. The estimate is quite higher than before. So you see, I think that's a good sign. I think, of course, with the Christmas season wrapped up in that earnings, a lot of the Christmas purchases are going to be in that earnings, and that's probably why it's actually higher. That's why this is probably a little higher in comparison, in like a ratio comparison. That's probably why this is higher. But so think about that, okay? If we do great on earnings on Amazon, I think this will come back and retest that 37 and potentially break it, okay? It'll stop being range bound. We need that direction with the earnings, okay? It's been kind of, the revenue has been going down a little bit last quarter over quarter, but now if we can have this nice spike, I think it'll be Amazon's day again, okay? So definitely love Amazon. I think that's a great pick from my cousin, and I need to get some Amazon. This is one that I don't have, and I've been just kicking the can down the road. I need to buy it before it breaks out. I think it's at a great time to buy. In my opinion, I do think it's at a great time to buy. All right, now I'm gonna go through Vanguard real quick, give you a couple more to look at here. All right, now I'm gonna get into a couple more, and then I'm gonna wrap the video up. I know it's probably a long time now, but let me give you a couple more stocks to put on your watch list here. Okay, Clean Spark, Tattooed Chef. If you're a fan of Jeremy, Tattooed Chef's looking pretty good at 1551. Fisker 16. Fisker's looking good in my opinion. What else we got here? We've got Workhorse down. I haven't talked about Workhorse in a while. They did have a shareholder meeting. They addressed a couple of questions. They didn't really go into too much detail. So the recalls, they were working on the recalls. I believe they said January was when there should be more news coming on that. I think they said January. And then, of course, with the DOJ investigation, they said they haven't had any further communication with the SEC or the DOJ. So it seems like things are just, kind of, it's a waiting game with that. And then when asked about why he was being quiet, or why they're, so silent lately, he just said he's substance, not sizzle. Okay, fair enough. So, there's definitely risk in Workhorse. I mean, let's pull it up real quick. Why not? Let's pull it up. There's risk in Workhorse. It's been just kind of downtrending, having a very hard time. Okay, I thought this was going to be our base at 6. Sure enough, we fell down further. We'll see if we hold this base. It's just been continuing to break. This was a resistance, seeing if we would break that resistance and go, but we were not able to hold above it. And this was right around the DOJ investigation, the recalls, of course, just destroying the stock. Okay, just destroying this, and it's been negative after negative with Workhorse. I mean, look at this. Look at this, just down to getting destroyed. Getting absolutely destroyed. Now, I do have shares in this still. I am holding. I did take some profits on the whole Workhorse and Postal Service thing, the infrastructure bill. It ran up close to $40. I was selling some at like the 30s. I made the mistake of not selling all. Of course, hindsight is 2020. How was I to know that there was going to be recalls and DOJ investigations and that sort of thing? But yeah, remember guys, it is a risky stock. It's still a pretty small cap. But if we get some positive news, I think that will turn this around quite considerably. So just be aware, keep an eye on Workhorse, keep your eyes open, look around for any news with this one, okay? When you get some positive news, I do expect this to come back around. It's still relatively heavily shorted. I mean, yeah, Workhorse has definitely been a failure on this channel so far that I've talked about. If you bought this one, I'm sorry. If if you bought it like when I was talking about it up around here, I'm sorry. Sucks. It kind of sucks, but you can't win them all. You're not gonna do in every single stock. You can't expect to just go up. Of course, you're gonna have some rough patches with some stocks, but I do have faith in Workhorse. Although I need to see some positive news. I need to see that trucks are rolling out of the assembly line and the recalls are all addressed and everything is just good going forwards, okay? There's too much risk in this one right now to just keep adding to your position, okay? If you don't have a position in this, it could be a potential time to get in. But me currently, I'm not going to risk more capital on something that could continue to go down and something that could, if they don't resolve these issues, if there's big allegations, if there's, more negative news with the DOJ investigation, this could bankrupt the company potentially. And where they are now, not making revenue on their trucks, anything like that, it's more negative catalyst, and this could continue downwards. Honestly, this could definitely continue downwards, just without any positive catalyst. We are on this downtrend, but you're on a downtrend until you aren't. That's one thing to consider. You're on this downtrend until you aren't. So if you're very, very ballsy, you could go in right now, but just be aware it could come down further. Okay, that's my disclaimer. It could come down further. It's a risky stock. Be aware. Okay, a lot of these stocks I talk about are risky. Okay, they are definitely risky. A lot of small caps, there's inherently more risk, okay, than something like a Apple or a Facebook or a Google or something. Okay, but I just see the valuations of some of these small caps, and it makes me chuckle, when you see some of these. It's like, it's insane, some of the deals out here. But that's basically it for you guys. Just a quick update on a couple of stocks. Let's see, is there one that I wanted to talk, one more I wanted to talk about? Oh, Bingo. Bingo's another one. Bingo's another one to keep an eye on. I like it at its price. All right, and Bingo was his name-o. We have been on a downtrend, and now we're kind of just like trading sideways. I think now for Bingo is a fantastic time to buy in. I love it at its current price. We had this downtrend. Looks like this was probably Omicron variant and just fears in the market and the whole interest rates fears. I mean, this was just like a steady downtrend, and it was downtrending before that. It's been on a downtrend, so look for it to turn around and start uptrending. Keep an eye on this one. Okay, you could potentially buy it at its current price. I do have a little bit of Bingo I've been holding, and I might actually add today. I might actually add a little bit today because it is looking pretty good. We are just kind of trading sideways. And remember, not long ago, this was at, I believe, like the $13-14 level, if not higher. Okay, so where it's at. I mean, if we really try to retest those highs, I kind of doubt we are gonna. I could easily see this coming back to 6 in no time. But if we retest those highs, I mean, you're looking at almost a 4x where it's at. So just be aware of that. I do like Bingo. It is one of the genomic stocks that I have exposure in. One of the only genomic stocks I have exposure in. But that's basically it, guys. Just a quick kind of recap on a couple of stocks. I will be putting out another video, a crypto video, in a little bit here, so definitely like and subscribe and stay tuned for that. Hit the notification bell as well. And tonight I'll probably give you another stock update, some stocks to buy, some things to watch for. But that's basically it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, hitting the like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.